Welcome to Fresh Fridays. I'm Pastor Tony, and today we'll be looking at a fresh idea that you can use in your kids' ministry. Hey, I want to talk safety for a few minutes. You know, I visited a church a few weeks ago, and I was really surprised at what I saw. I saw a teacher and a kid. They were roughhousing, wrestling around, and I saw some, well, I'm just going to say it was probably inappropriate touching. Not like in a sexual sort of way, nothing like that, but there was just too much hand slapping, smacking kind of things happening. I thought, you know what? We really need to make sure that we're taking care of our kids, that we're creating a safe environment for our kids. And so over the year, I put together just a few things that I want to encourage you as a volunteer. These are some things you probably shouldn't do. And maybe you've done it. Okay, I remember the good old days back when it didn't matter. Those weren't necessarily good old days because kids actually got hurt. Churches got sued. And we want to make sure that your kids' ministry is safe. Beyond that, we want your kids to feel safe so they want to come back. So let me give you a few things that I don't want any of my volunteers to ever do in a classroom. And then we'll give you a couple things that you can do, that we want you to do. First off, let me encourage you, don't make verbal threats to kids. Okay, first off, kids see right through it. But secondly, we should be making those kind of threats at all. Like, I'm going to teach you a lesson. Yeah, that's probably not okay. Beyond that, we don't slap or hit a child. We don't strike them or kick them. Any kind of physical contact with them in that way, we do not do. Even if you're upset, walk away, take a breath. Okay, we don't restrain a child, hold them down. We don't seclude a child. Be careful with your timeouts. If you want to make sure they sit off the side of your teacher, that's fine, but don't stick them outside of your hallway and make them wait out there by themselves. That's not something that we do. Beyond that, we don't want to hug a kid too closely or kiss a child. Keep your yucky lips to yourself, okay? But no, we don't want to be doing that. No contact. It's too close like that. Never be alone with a child. You always want to make sure there's other people in the room with you. Men, let me encourage you, do not wrestle with kids no matter what. Okay, why? It always seems to turn into a massive dog pile, kids climbing on top of it. Pretty soon, men, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hit somewhere you don't want to get hit, and then all kinds of violent tendencies come out. And so my encouragement is just don't wrestle. Beyond that, we also ask that men, don't let kids sit in your lap, okay? We just don't want them anywhere near your private areas. Hey, let's also talk about this. We also don't want you transporting kids without permission. Make sure you got permission from the church and from the parents before you take a child anywhere. There's all kinds of insurance aspects with that. Don't engage in any extracurricular activities with the kids unless a family invites you to do so accordingly. And then let me also encourage you, please don't baptize those kids in their pools. Talk to your church, your pastor, your staff ahead of time. Find out what the policies are that your church has for baptisms. Don't try to be their preacher for them. Now let me give you a couple things that you can do. What are some things that we want you to do as a volunteer? First off, protect yourself. If a child is coming at you, I remember one time I had a child who had a pencil and he was bound determined he was going to stab me with that pencil. I made sure I stopped his hand. I actually broke the pencil off in his hand because I couldn't get it loose, but I made sure he wasn't going to hurt me. It is okay to defend yourself. We don't want you or other people getting hurt. Let me also encourage you with this. You need to insist that children behave. If you have a child acting up, it is totally okay to go in and make sure they sit down, that they understand what they are required to do. And contact the parents or guardians if you need to. Let's get them involved, but we want to make sure we create a safe environment where kids feel safe. And we also ask you, if you have kids in your classroom, discipline them. I've been amazed how many times I've had a kid acting up and I've seen their parent in the room and the parents are just ignoring them like, that's not my kid. It is your kid. We all know it, okay? Please take a moment, discipline your child. It also is a good opportunity for you to maybe talk to another leader in the room going, hey, can you help me? Can you give me some tips? Because none of us are perfect parents. We're all trying to learn through this together. So go ahead, give that kid some knuckles, give him a high five, let him know that you love him. But beyond that, let's keep our hands to ourselves. Let's create a safe environment for our kids. Hey, this is Pastor Tony, reminding you to keep your kids' ministry fresh.